Happy morning, children. Once again, I welcome you all for this online class. And today we are continuing with our lesson 2 of Mughal Empire, part 2, session 26. And in the last class, we studied about Akbar, his ascension to the throne. And today we are going to continue with Akbar, the events that happened in his rule. One by one, we are going to study. And the first topic is conquest of women rulers. So, during Akbar's rule, there were contemporary women rulers around India. And we are going to study about two important women rulers who are related to Akbar. And even though Akbar was appreciated for his great achievements, here here Akbar was not very much appreciated because he wanted to capture Rani Durga Devi's territory. Rani Durga Devi, she was a noble woman and she did not harm anybody. She was only controlling her own province. But what happened? Akbar, because of his greediness, he wanted to extend his kingdom. So, in order to extend his empire, he purposefully attacked Rani Durga Devi's territory and he defeated her in a battle. And Rani Durga Devi, she belonged to the Rajput family. Okay, and because after the death of her husband, she had a son who was minor, and because there is nobody to take care of the kingdom, she became the ruler. And finally, Akbar defeated Durga Devi in order to extend his empire. And also, there is another woman, and her name is Rani Chand Bibi, and she was the regent of Ahmednagar. So here also, uh, Akbar attacked this woman ruler also in order to extend his empire. And she was the regent of Ahmednagar. So what is mean by this word regent? Regent means somebody who has the administrative power or control over some territory in place of a king. So she is the authority of that Ahmednagar province. And here Akbar attacked, uh, made a war against this Ahmednagar. And this woman, she was a brave lady, and her fight was very great, and she could able to give a equal resistance to Akbar's army. And finally, by looking at her great effort, the Mughal army, they wanted to stop the war and they made peace treaty with this woman. She belonged to the Muslim community, Rani Chand Bibi. So these are the two brave women who um, were attacked by Akbar during his rule. Now let's move on to the next topic, the Battle of Aldigati. Okay, now here Akbar defeated Rana Uday Singh of Mewar. Mewar is a place of western India, particularly in Rajasthan. Okay, and after defeating Rana Uday Singh, he captured the fort of Chittur or Chittagora. We studied about this fort in the first class, isn't it? So in the year 1568 he captured this Chittagora, and also he captured the Ranthambore fort in 1569. So these two forts were located in Rajasthan. So first he captured Chittor fort. Then after 1 year, he also captured the Ranthambore fort in Rajasthan. And in the year 1576, he also fought with Rana Uday Singh's son, Rana Pratap. Okay, he was a very powerful fighter. So with him also Akbar fighted, and this battle is called Battle of Haldigati. So they had the war in a place called Haldigati. So here also um, Rana Pratap was defeated. So after getting defeated, he escaped on a horse named Chetak, and he fled into the jungle. Okay, next let's look at the commercial access to Arabia, Southeast Asia, and China. So, what are the uh, commercial steps taken by Akbar during his period? So, as Akbar captured Gujarat, which is located in the northwestern part of Arabian Sea, it is very much easy to have overseas trade with the Arabs and the European countries, which is located on the western uh, western part of India. Not only in the west, even in the eastern part of India, like in East Bihar, Odisha also, uh, he had control. So he could even access to southeastern countries and China. Some of the southeastern countries are Malaysia, Indonesia, Sumatra, Thailand. These are the southeastern countries he could have access because of his total control over northern part of India. Okay, the next topic is his military campaigns in the northwest. Okay, so what are the campaigns he made? Campaign means militarical um, conquests. Okay, so in the northwestern part of India. So Akbar added to his empire Kandahar, Kashmir, and Kabul. These three territories are located in the northwestern part of India. And Kandahar is in today's Kabul. Kabul is in today's Afghanistan. Kandahar is in Pakistan. Kashmir is in the northwestern side of India. So these are the three important northwestern regions uh, Akbar brought into his under his territory. And in the Deccan region, that is in the uh, southeastern part of India, he added Berar, Khandesh, and parts of Ahmednagar. And he also extended his empire from Kashmir in the north to Godavari in the south. Godavari is located in Andhra Pradesh. And also from Kandahar in the west to Bengal in the east. So the whole of India, including Pakistan, came under Akbar's territory. Only in the southern part of India, they did not have their rule. And finally, Akbar died in the year 1605, and his mortal remains were buried at Sikandra near Agra. So his dead body was buried in a place called Sikandra, which is near Agra. Okay, now let's study about the religious policy of Akbar. So Akbar maintained a peaceful relation with other religions. Okay, he did not show any partiality with other religions. He even liked the Hindus very much, and also he abolished the tax which was named as jizya, that is forcing tax on non-Muslims. So he abolished this unwanted tax. Okay, and also uh, Hindu pilgrims were also imposed tax. So whenever any Hindu wanted to go for a holy tour, they must pay tax. So Akbar abolished these types of non-Muslim taxes imposed on other religious people. And also Akbar married a girl from noble Rajput family. So Rajputs were belong to Hindu religion. Akbar was a Muslim, so he married a girl from the Hindu family, and even he married off his son to a Rajput girl. Not only Akbar married a Hindu Rajput girl, even his son also married a Hindu Rajput girl. And also, Akbar appointed many nobles from Rajput family to important positions of his empire. So, uh, many of his powerful territories were adorned by Hindu Rajput nobles. And Raja Mansingh of Jaipur was sent as a governor for Kabul once. So Kabul was an important territory of Akbar. So Akbar made Raja Mansingh of Jaipur, who was a Hindu man, Hindu Rajput. He was made as a governor for Kabul. And also he respected and he adorned Sufi saint Salim Christi and Sikh Guru Ramdas. So these people were uh, respected and regarded by Akbar during his time. And even Guru Ramdas was gifted a plot land in Amritsar, which is located in Punjab today. And now at this place there was a shrine, that is a temple built in this place, which was gifted by Akbar to Guru Ramdas. And now we are going to study about contributions to the culture. So what are the efforts made by Akbar regarding the culture? So he was a great patron of learning. So he was a great enthusiastic person regarding learning. And in his personal library there were more than 4,000 manuscripts. Manuscripts means handwritten records. So handwritten literature records were more than 4,000 in his library. And he also patronized scholars of all beliefs and all shades of opinions. So he was not restricted with a particular religion or particular faith. He honored every different faith and different opinions. And also he extended his benevolence to authors such as Abul Fazl, Abul Faizi, Abdul Rahim, Kani E. Kanan, the great storyteller Birbal, and also Raja Turmal, Raja Bhagwat Das, and Raja Mansingh. So he respected all the important authors during his time. And also the greatest musician and song composer named Tanzan, and an artist and an important artist named Dashwant. These people, they were part of Akbar's court. So Akbar added these people in his court in order to respect them. So these are some of the contributions given by Akbar during his rule in Indian Empire. Okay, now let's move on to Jahangir. So, after Akbar's rule, he was succeeded by his son named Prince Salim. So, Prince Salim was Akbar's son and he was not a complete Muslim. He was born of a Rajput Hindu mother. So, Akbar was a Muslim, but his wife was a Rajput um, princess. So for Akbar and a Rajput princess, Jahangir was born, and his original name was Nuruddin Muhammad Jahangir. The meaning of his name was conqueror of the world. So Jahangir was not like his father or his previous rulers. Okay, he had no interest in ruling and administering the empire. He is very much interested only in art, painting, and taking care of gardens and flowers. So his empire was indirectly controlled by his wife named Nur Jahan. Mehrunisa, that is Nur Jahan. Okay, so like Akbar, Jahangir also carried out some of his father's traditions, like honoring other religions, uh, like how Akbar honored other religions and he removed the taxes from non-Muslims. Jahangir also continued the same thing in his rule also. He also abolished the taxes on non-Muslims. But he killed he killed a Sikh leader Guru Arjun because he supported his son who contested for the throne. The name of the Guru Arjun's son is Khusrau. So he wanted to capture the throne, and his father Guru Arjun supported supported him. So because he supported, he became enemy to Jahangir, and Jahangir killed this Sikh leader Guru Arjun. And because he killed this Guru, there was a constant fight between Sikhs and Mughal. So finally, uh, Mughals and Sikhs became enemies forever. And because of this enmity, the Mughal they had lost their control of trade route between uh, India and Afghanistan, Persia, and Central Asia, because they have to pass through this Sikh territory in order to reach Afghanistan, Persia, and Central Asia. And because of their fight, Mughals lost their uh, commercial route. And also he lost the important place of Kandahar to the enemies. So because of this loss, the northwestern part of his empire was open to enemies. And moreover, Ahmednagar, which was captured by Akbar, it was a constant threat and trouble for Jahangir's reign. Jahangir also he authorized trading rights to the Portuguese. So he allowed the Portuguese to trade with his empire, and later he also allowed English to have trade with India. And Thomas Roe, he was a representative of King James I of England. He visited Jahangir's courts, and his agreement with Jahangir made the way for the British to establish their first factory in Surat, which is in um, Maharashtra. Okay, so these are some of the important things regarding Akbar and his um, rule. And next class we'll study the remaining portions of the lesson.